I forgot I had to press another button to make that happen. Hello, Internet. We're back for another Tabletop Tuesday, the Burbs edition. Ooh. Uh, just it's the Burbs crew tonight. I should have thought about what to say for this intro. I don't know that there's anything different going on this week, but you just watched our intro video, which tells you all the things and the stuff that we do on this channel. It's great. We got lots of shows most nights of the week. Like this night, we're either here with this, our Savage Worlds game, or our Masks game, running. We try and do opposite weeks, but it's more about who's available. And so, yeah, we'll be back next week with Masks. We'll be short a David, but we'll have a guest player, so make sure you tune in for that. But let's see, this week should be back with Elegant Magics on Thursday. We had to skip last week because life. But then let's see, I think Friday is. Well, no, because I think they had their season finale of Neon Souls recently. So I'm not quite sure what
Yeah,
they're doing on Fridays. I'm sure we'll tweet
I think
about
they're
it.
starting their new season
Already.
in space.
Ooh. Okay. But yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Twitch and our Discord so that you can see what we are doing when. Saturday we'll be back with Saturday night's Mistborn. Sunday should be Vason. Does that sound right, LB?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yes. So we're finishing Basin probably this week, and then we're gonna switch to something else that I don't know if it's been announced or not
I
yet.
don't believe so, but again, keep an eye on our socials so you hear about that. Speaking of things that have been announced, I believe Monday nights, I don't know if they're starting just yet or if it's still ramping up, but Savvy is going to be running some of our friends in Dungeons and Dragons and doing the Horde of the Dragon Queen based on the brief spiel she gave. It's going to be called The Forgotten, and it's kind of for all of the players' characters who never really got to see their story finished up. So kind of pulling them all in together and doing that module. So that should be a lot of fun. And that'll take us back to the Masks game next week. I think that's it for GGK stuff. Let's see. Let's go around the table, go around the screen, and tell the good folks at home who we are and what we do. Let's start with David.
Oh yeah, David on GGK on Tuesday nights, and tonight I am the keeper or the GM for the Burbs, Cthulhu-esque game. If you haven't seen it before.
Thank you. LB, why don't you tell the folks at home who you are?
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. Today, I'm going to be playing Clara Kriegers. She is a professor and a cult knowledge knower for now. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. And hello, I'm Alex, OMG It's Some Guy on the internet. And in tonight's game, I am James McCoy, kind of a living handyman, living with Clara. And right now we are on the run. Well, I'll let David tell us what happened most recently, because shit's getting wild on this show.
All right. So last time you found yourselves starting off the session with Matt Jr. on his way over to presumably murder you all. And you decided that you try and run instead of fight. You ran to the labs that had at the chemistry lab at the college to try and pick up some results for the liquid that they had been melting people into or disintegrating people into or whatnot in the Miller's basement. It hadn't been done yet, so Clara had to do it herself. ran some tests, found most of the ingredients in it, but there was an unknown element or something to it that you were not able to 100% identify, other than it's never been discovered on Earth before. At least not by, modern scientists. And you stole a car to try and skip town. But sadly, Matt Jr. seemed to have shown up. He tried to chase after you with the car, kind of did a Hulk jump after you. You hit him with the car. It seemed to hurt him a little bit. He had kind of road rash as he kind of went flying down the highway, tumbling and scraping. You drove past him, and he chucked a car at you, picked it up over his head and threw it. And then you escaped, stealing a few cars along the way, and finally ending up at a town that you had known from your UFO research and books, that they had had some similar lighting incidents occur not too long ago. In fact, after the last time it happened in Silver Falls. So like the early, 1900s, I think it was like 1938, was that it? Or was it 1948? I don't remember. But anyways.
1935 is...
1935.
That's when one of the blueprints was addressed for.
Okay.
I don't know that I wrote down the date for when all the people burned up in the church.
I don't think you would have gotten a specific date on that yet. But yeah, so the 1930s to early 1940s, there were a string of disappearances here, it would seem. You didn't necessarily know about the disappearances when you came here. You just knew about the weird lightning and stuff like that. You did find out that there were a string of disappearances, that that a family... What?
They were the Hamiltons?
The Hamiltons, yes. The Hamiltons.
Alexander Hamilton.
Yes.
That, suspiciously sound much like the Millers, might have been the suspects, and that a church burned down with a bunch of people in it, and that the Hamiltons hadn't been seen since then. This information in White Pines was, of course, discovered shortly after the will they, won't they of Clara and James has made a bit of a step forward, in that their potential romantic interests seem to become a bit more physical, we shall say. And you find yourselves, I guess this would be the next day. You had, after you had spent some time together the previous night, while Clara's sister Sarah was out giving you two room. She got back. You rested up for the night. You went and did some research in the morning. You met for lunch at a diner. And it seems that word has already kind of gotten around that you're looking into the Hamiltons, as you were approached by a waitress asking you if you were looking into the Hamiltons. And yeah, we'll kind of pick up there. You finished lunch. You've paid your tab.
Yeah. So I went to town hall to look for blueprints from that architect who made the home with the secret basement, and I had a very helpful old man tell me some things. And the sisters had gone to the library to look for microfilms.
It's the local paper. Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was before lunch. Okay, so yeah, you were right. For some reason, I thought we went to the diner for breakfast, but no, diner was lunch. Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd gone to City Hall to look for blueprints, and you found them. Forgot about that.
Yep.
You found blueprints for a very similar house to the blueprints you had found before, with a hidden secret basement. and you're approached by a helpful old man who kind of did a bit of an exposition dump on you and told you that there's some crazy happenings and no one's ever that house is haunted now and no one's ever found the basement. The sisters went to the local paper to try and look through their microfilms to see if they could find anything, and they didn't really find anything useful as of yet. But there's a lot of microfilm to go through. So that's a lot of papers, and you have a kind of a fuzzy window to look through. It's a small town, so they probably don't publish daily. They probably, this is the age of newspapers, so they probably publish, I'm going to say, twice a week is what I would think. They might have published only weekly back then. So it's not as many as like a major newspaper publication.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still talking about, if you're looking at like a 2 or 3 year period, potentially, a couple hundred newspapers to flip through, it's probably like a 10-page newspaper. Nothing too crazy.
Okay. What was our next step? What was the next plan? I know that we want to go to the house, but do we go talk to the chief of police?
Yeah, there was talk of going to talk to the old chief of police, but we were told that he's half crazy now, seeing as his family died 5 years after he took over.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be really interesting to see David play that, so I'm excited to do that.
So yeah, there's that. There could be, more thorough. Again, I think the police chief will definitely be important and interesting, but other possible options. The sisters go back to the library, keep looking. James could do a drive-by of the Hamilton's old house, see what it's like now. Just a question of what we want to do first.
Yeah, do we want to split the party, or do you want to come with us to look at the library?
James is going to be a very little help in the library, but maybe it could be a quick, just like, sisters go back, do some searching. James goes and checks out the address, comes back, and based on how long that takes, from there we go try and meet the old police chief.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So you're going to go, James is going to go check out the Hamilton's house. Just go find it.
Yeah, he promises to just, go find where it is. He's not going to go into the house. He's going to even try and stay off, like, their property lines, but just go see where it is, see what state it's in now. Is it completely dilapidated? Is it remarkably well kept for being a supposedly haunted house? That sort of thing.
Okay. And the sisters are going back to the newspaper. All right. I think we'll start with the newspaper, since that should be pretty straightforward roll over whether or not you get anything.
Okie dokie. Am I rolling investigado?
Yeah, probably. I forget that this newfangled system has very limited number of skills compared to
the
last one, which I like better.
Yeah. I'm used to playing like Masks and Monster of the Week, where it's like there's 6 things. That's it. Has to fit into one of those.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Roll me and investigate.
Okay. It's a 5.
Okay. Yeah. So that is a hit. No raises, but that is a pass. As people are unaware, playing Savage Worlds, and your basic target number is 4. So usually a 4 is going to get you what you want. There's some slight exceptions to that. But yeah, so yeah, you go through now. You after your conversations with James and the waitress there, you have a much narrower uh, kind of time window to look through. And so now you go to check like the summer that you think this all would have gone down, and you start looking for the church and stuff like that to try and get a date for it. And yeah, you find one paper in particular. It has a very long obituary uh, section, and yeah, the front page is of the church burning down with all the people in it. It's tragedy strikes White Pines.
What's the date on that?
Um, hmm, I don't remember the year we had said before, so I'm going to say
1935 was when the house was built.
yeah. I'm going to say yeah, that's when it would have been filed. So we'll say it's 36. Say it's 1936, summer of 1936.
Okay. Do they note any causes or like why all the people died as opposed to like being like running out sort of thing?
Yeah, it's thought that exits might have been blocked or something like that. Arson was
Yeah.
suspected, and that the church just went up. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a small fire that got out of control. It was, everyone's packed into church, and this thing just lit up like a candle. And it was out of control. It took them a long time to put it out, and yeah, so they're not sure. No one who was in the church survived. They have some interviews with people who, for whatever reason, didn't go to church that week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it devastated this community. There's not a lot of churches here. I mean, it's a small town, and it is it's in a very religious part of the country. So there's more than one church. It's not just nothing but Baptists or whatever. But there's only the one Baptist church, and it burnt down. So that's one of the more popular denominations in these parts, and so yeah, a significant portion of the town's population was in it. And so yeah, it's very much the article is very much just like it's kind of weird, and it's very clearly grieving for the loss of the town, but at the same time it's kind of a little all over the place. It's not like a very strong journalism tradition here in White Pines, Tennessee. So yeah, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of grief, but in the article there's not a lot of mention of the Hamiltons, other than it's thought that they're listed as being potentially in the fire because they're known to attend the church.
Yeah, because they weren't
and
there.
now they're not here anymore. So
yeah. Okay. Is there anyone? Okay, so they did some interviews of people who weren't at the church when the fire happened. Can I get some names so we can interview people? Because like that church was targeted for a reason. I'd like to find out why.
Absolutely. Yeah. They interviewed someone by the name of Daniel, and I didn't come up with a last name for him.
Thompson.
Daniel Thompson, sure enough.
I know him. I'm reading it right here. Okay.
And yeah, he went to the church, and he just he's talking about how much tragedy it is, and all those things. But yeah, He's kind of the big person that got interviewed. His family didn't go, so he's one of the. He was a teenager at the time.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. I was looking at the dates for a second and I was like, oh my God, 1936. God, these people are going to be like so old. And then I remember we're in the 80s.
Yeah.
We're in
Yeah,
1980. So it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 44 years ago.
So Daniel
Okay.
might be 60 something.
Yeah, exactly. Alex, can you think of any other questions?
I mean, I think that's the main one. This may just be an issue of retconning or something, but I do believe last time it was mentioned that, like, the Hamiltons were known to have left town, and people are like, oh, it makes sense. The church they went to and all their friends, died horribly, and so of course they don't want to stick around. But the article suggests that they were potential victims, and that may just be you forgetting what you said last time, which I totally understand.
Forgetting what I said a little bit. Yeah. So, okay, if that's the case, I knew that they had gotten suspicious about it. My kind of internal reasoning had become that eventually they identified all the people in the church and they weren't there, so they figured they skipped town.
Gotcha.
But if they were seen to have left town shortly after, then the article will be a little different. They probably interviewed the Millers or the Hamiltons, and if that's the case, you can go ahead and see a nice family photo of the Hamiltons and in all their glory, and it is just 100% the Millers. None of them have aged a day.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Sarah and point at the picture. See?
She's kind of. I mean, I was pretty on board after the guy threw a car at us.
Yeah, I'm just
definitely.
I just want to re-emphasize that we're not crazy. Because sometimes I need that for me too,
I mean, yeah, I get it. It definitely feels like we're going crazy. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and move. I would like each of you to roll me. You and Sarah here.
I can roll for Sarah.
Sarah and Clara.
Sarah and Clara. Not each of you, I suppose. This will be a spirit.
Okay.
Yes, your spirit.
Just roll straight next to the thing.
You don't have to, James. Sorry, just Clara and Sarah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it for Sarah.
Got it. Yeah.
I got a 13.
You are resilient AF, and Sarah got a 5.
Okay, good enough. Yeah. All right. You guys don't lose any sanity on being continuously bombarded by.
Cool. Can I gain sanity back with that goddamn roll?
No, and you wouldn't lose sanity. You could potentially go mad.
Yeah.
You would. If you failed it, I would roll mental anguish, and if it was higher than your sanity, you would have to try and soak it with the smarts roll. And if I rolled high enough, if I rolled enough mental anguish, you would take madness points, and 3 madness points means you're potentially insane for a long time. It's that simple.
Yeah.
There were a lot of steps there. I don't know if that's simple. That might be the reason it took me a while to figure out exactly how the sanity system worked. Yeah.
It's like there's 9 steps. But anyways, so the two of you are fine, and yeah, you. Do you want to search any more records or anything like that?
Maybe just if there's unless there's anything like in the lead up to this fire about the church, or like suspicions around the town about anything, like gossip.
You can see the kind of previous few things have some articles about, people going missing
Hmm.
in the lead up to it. And so there's definitely, the town's kind of on high alert. And then all of a sudden that happens. And so, yeah, people are definitely suspicious. This, small town.
Yeah.
There's a murderer amongst us.
Hmm. And can I get a copy of a picture of
Yeah.
the photograph of the Millers?
Yes, you can get a copy of that page.
Okay.
It'll cost you 10 cents.
Oh, in the 80s?
Yeah.
All right. That is all I would like. Thank you.
No problem. All right. So James, you have the address to this place. Let's see here. This is going to be, I think, a survival roll to read to find this place.
Okay, I can do that, but I'd been saying I wanted to look up inflation to see what $1 or 10 cents in 1980 was. And the best I have is $1 from 1980 is $3.32 today. So
All right.
it would be like, I guess, 34 cents, 33 cents or something now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It'd be 33.2 cents.
Yeah. Okay. Survival. I'm apparently untrained.
All right, David, calm down.
So should I just roll the unskilled test one?
Yes. Roll the unskilled test one.
That's a 7.
All right.
I got 2 explosions or whatever they're called in this system.
Aces. You aced twice.
You dunked on him.
Still not enough for a raise, though.
Yep, that -2 will get you.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So, yeah, there's, it's the 80s. It's before internet or anything like that. So you just pick up a town road map from a gas station and are able to read the map well enough to get you over in that direction. Driving there is a little bit different, as this is kind of out in the boonies of White Pines. One of those you're not even sure if it's technically in White Pines. You probably drive about 15 minutes out of town, and you're kind of go into some neighborhoods that are kind of in kind of some woods. It looks like they're on some acreage. So there's quite a bit of a drive between each house, but it's clearly been developed to be something of a neighborhood. It's not like farmland or anything like that.
Okay.
And you see the most of the houses are built kind of close to the street, and you find where the Miller's house would have been, or the Hamilton's house would have been. And it takes you a minute. You actually pass it, and you see, the next address after theirs, and you kind of have to circle around and drive this stretch of road a few times before you find this old, overgrown, kind of gravel driveway. And you see like an old rotted post from where a mailbox used to be. And you imagine that probably the address would have been on that mailbox or something like that. But this gravel driveway kind of goes off into the woods here, and it's kind of thick and overgrown. So you do not see the house from the street.
Okay, James is gonna stick to his word and is gonna make a note of how to get here and head back to the library.
All right. So yeah, you head back, and um, this is you didn't wouldn't have taken you too long. You're gone maybe an hour or so, and that's probably all Clara and Sarah needed. And I think as you're kind of pulling up to park at this whatever this newspaper, we'll call it the White Pines Gazette.
Okay.
Which is you're looking through their old kind of library of papers, and you dropped them off here, so that's where they're at. And you see kind of an older gentleman walking into the White Pine Gazette as you're parking.
It's not the same old man as what's at City Hall, is it?
No,
The town has multiple
old man.
men confirmed.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. The old guy at City Hall was probably a little older than this guy is. This guy, I say old man. He's, depending on how poorly or well he has aged, you would clock him in his 50s or 60s.
Okay. So yeah, gonna park and go into enter and go look for the sisters.
All right. So yeah, you walk in shortly after him. Clara, you hear they probably have a bell above the door. They would want to know when someone comes into the White Pines Gazette. You hear the bell ring, and you hear the person who kind of works there at the front desk go, "Oh, Mayor, how can I help you?" And he goes, I had heard that some folks were in town asking about the Hamiltons. He goes, yeah, there's a couple. There's two of them in our old looking through our old papers. He goes, would you mind if I talk to him? Goes, sure, yeah, just this way.
Clara looks at Sarah and what is the intention on this man's face? What is his facial expression as he's coming towards us?
He kind of sees past the woman who is kind of running the front desk here, and sees the two of you, and he kind of goes, "Oh, hi there," and we'll say this is about when James walks in through the front door.
Hi. Can I help you?
Well, yeah, it is. It's I'm the mayor here, Mayor Thompson.
Oh, Mr. Thompson. Mayor Thompson. It's very nice to meet you.
Well, it's nice to meet the two of you. I didn't catch your names though.
We're both Mrs. Kriegerton.
We must have given fake names at the motel, right?
Oh, we did. That's right.
I don't remember what those fake names were, if we even said them on stream, but let's just assume those are the names we are giving people around town.
Okay. I am Amber Smith, and this is my sister, Tara Smith.
I was about to suggest Willow for some reason. We're like, no, wait, Willow Smith is a real person.
wait, that's something different.
What kind of role am I do I make you do for lying your ass off here?
Is there a lie roll?
I don't think there is. I think we just roll persuasion.
Okay. Oh, I'm terrible at this.
Neither of us are good at it.
All right. That's a 1.
Oh. Is it snake eyes? Let me look.
No.
3 plus
No.
3 plus.
You just
I
have the
don't know.
-2.
I'm looking at this.
So it was 2 3s, but because you're unskilled, it has a -2.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Because all right. Amber and Tara, huh?
Yes.
Okay. And the last name was Smith and your sister's?
Yeah.
All right. Well, James, you're kind of walking up, I assume?
Yeah. Oh. Hello there. Can we help you?
Oh, I was just talking to these two young ladies here. Can I assume that you were their male companion that I've heard about?
I suppose I must be. Yes. I am Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson. All right. You can roll a persuasion if you want to.
Oh, it's not gonna be any
If
better.
you don't want to, he's just not going to believe you.
I mean, I'm gonna try. Another
Okay.
unskilled test. Also a 1. Also 2 3s. We're so good at this.
All right.
We say it with confidence, but our confidence level is not as good as everyone else's. So
You're like trying to remember what the fake name was because this is the first time anyone's pushed you to give the fake name. You just like wrote it down. You haven't said it out loud before. And yeah, so he's all right. Well, okay. Well, I was just coming to meet the folks that were looking into the Hamiltons. Word gets around in a town like this.
Is it really that exciting? I mean, we've barely told anyone, and it seems like everyone knows.
Well, I mean, first off, new people in town, right? It's gonna always be something of whenever anyone's staying over at the motel, everyone's gonna know someone's staying there, especially when it's not, someone's relatives or something like that. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, small towns gossip. And I don't know if everyone knows it, but, you weren't in here when I said I'm the mayor, Mayor Thompson. It's nice to meet you.
Shakes his hand.
All right,
Nice
no
to meet you
static
too.
shock or anything like that.
all right, cool.
Just everyone we meet from now on, static shock.
I would just actually, this is quite interesting because I came across your name in this paper. I assume, or are you related to Daniel Thompson?
That's me. I'm Daniel Thompson. Yeah.
Wonderful. I guess not wonderful given the circumstances of the topic that we're researching, but I did want to talk to you if you have some time.
I absolutely have some time. You want to? We can talk here. We can go to my office.
I mean, if you don't mind, just taking a seat, we'll chat.
Sure. And he kind of looks towards the secretary and says her name. He's like, "Is that all right if we take old Hank's office? I know he's not in today." And she's like, sure, yeah." It's like, all right. And he just starts walking back towards one of these offices in the White Pines Gazette.
Gives James a look.
Kind of shrugs and follows after.
All right. He sits behind the desk.
Right. Makes sense. So I was just looking at the fire. I know this is probably isn't easy for you to discuss, being what it is. But was there any lead up, any threats to the church before this?
No threats to the church or anything like that. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Who knows why they did it? I mean, everyone's assuming it was the Hamiltons, But I just, I thank God every day. My little sister was sick, and my parents didn't want to go. Well, my mom didn't want to go. My dad was never one for church much, anyways. So just I wasn't going if no one else was. So you
Yeah.
know, ironically, probably a little more religious afterwards. But
Yeah. What can you tell me about the Hamiltons?
I mean, I would have thought they was good folks. I was friends with Kevin. He was about my age,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to school together. He'd been living there for about a year, and yeah, they seem like nice folks. I mean, I probably hung out at their house probably probably more days than my own that year, and
Huh.
so it was truly something bizarre. It's like they just. I mean, I'd say it's like they just became different people, but honestly, outside of their leaving, I would have never even suspected.
They weren't overly nice or
I
acting
mean,
odd in any way.
you got to be a little bit nice to kind of win your way into people's kind of confidence and well kind of kind of become a part of the town here. It's small. It was even smaller then, and didn't have folks moving in from out of state too often, especially not fancy doctors or nothing like that. So I think people were a little apprehensive towards them at first. So I mean, yeah, I think they're probably much friendlier than most folks would have been. But I mean, nothing crazy. Like to throw a barbecue, that kind of thing.
You
Yeah.
said they came
Um,
from out of state. Did they say where before? Where they came from
I
before?
want to say something like Michigan or something like that. I know that they moved around a couple more times. I know they had lived in Michigan. I know they lived in Ohio for a bit. Kevin would talk about Ohio, but kind of this general region. Not like California or anything weird like that.
Sure.
um, when do you remember when you met them?
Yeah,
Did you happen to feel? I know this might sound odd, but did you feel a shock when you shook their hands?
like what do you mean?
Like a static shock, like sometimes when people rub their feet across the carpet in socks.
I mean, it was a while ago. Not that I remember.
Yeah, I'm sure that was. Um, were there any weird electrical storms while they were in town? Blue
Um,
lightning or strange things like that?
I do seem to recall um, there was some issues with the power grid
Mm-hmm.
on and off that year, but
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Yeah.
You said you spent a lot of time over there.
Hmm.
Did they have a basement that you ever, hung out in? I mean,
Wow, that's the thing. Those you're talking about those blueprints, yeah? I've seen that's a thing that people talk about now for years. People have been trying to find those blueprints. No, no, I never saw any basement or any door to one or nothing like that. Um, so I don't know. I honestly don't think they built it. I think it's in the plans, and I don't think they built it.
Okay. And was there anyone else in town that was really close to them or that What did Mr. Hamilton do?
He's a doctor.
And he practiced medicine at the local hospital?
Well, he opened up his own kind of doctor's office here in town. We didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
any at the time. We were having to drive a pretty good ways to see anyone, and so that probably didn't hurt neither that we had a doctor in town. No one had to drive an hour and a half more.
Mm-hmm. We were gonna go talk to the chief of police, or the old chief of police. Have you spoken with him recently? I heard he might be not in the best state of mind.
I have not. He's a bit older than me, by quite a few years. Probably got about 20 years on me or so, and he'd already retired by the time I became mayor. So I haven't really. I mean, I talked to him here and there. See him in town. Poor man, but I mean, I don't know what good it'll do you.
It's good to get all different kinds of perspectives, I guess. What else?
Just to confirm, the weird disappearances stopped once the Hamiltons left, right?
I mean, yeah, yeah. For the most part, there were some issues. Probably about like 10 years later, there's a stretch a few more. But that was chalked up to poor young man, about my age. He's friends with Kevin as well, and we think he just he never took it as well as me. And I mean, I had a hard time with it myself. We all went to that church. As most of our friends went there, and most of our family friends went there and everything. So I mean, it was a pretty devastating time. He never quite recovered, and yeah, so kind of found to be him. I think he went a little off his rocker, and he killed about 10 folks.
Oh dear. From the way you talk about him, it sounds like he's not around anymore.
No, he was executed by the state about I'm going to say about 15 years ago.
And did he ever admit his guilt?
Yeah.
Okay. Must have been a very difficult time for the town.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's some factory work here and stuff like that. So with all them folks dying, we got a lot of jobs had to be replaced and stuff. It took about a couple of years, but they didn't. So I mean, the town kind of went back to the population it had been, and so all of a sudden there's a lot of new faces and stuff like that. So it was very, very odd, kind of transformative time. Yeah.
And just so that we have it, what was that young man's name?
Oh, that would have been Tommy.
This may be slightly meta, but if he is not important at all, you don't need to come up with a last name, etc. But
nah, it's fine. My brain just keeps thinking Hilfiger. We'll just call we'll say Tommy Roten. Rhoten.
Thank you for spelling it.
yep, I would have missed the H.
Yeah, most people do. It's an old English spelling of it. I think in the American stuff, they usually leave the H out.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of any more questions for now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. I guess I did drive by the Hamilton's old place earlier. Just from the road, seems very worn down, but from your time hanging out there, is there? Yes, we are planning to go check it out. Anything you
All right.
would warn us against specifically, other than don't do it?
I mean, it's old, it's run down. There's going to be a lot of critters and animals out there. I make wear some long sleeves, wear some pants, maybe get some gloves. You guys don't want to get Lyme disease or nothing like that.
Good call.
That's actually very helpful. Thank you.
But I mean, in terms of, we had some folks looking into it who no one heard of since and stuff like that. But I kind of suspect that maybe they just left town or something. Who knows? It's before I would have been involved in any kind of stuff before I was mayor. So it's just rumor mills from anything I know of it. But no, I'm not one to think believe in hauntings or nothing like that. So no, I mean, like in terms of like what I would know about the house, nothing. I mean, I know their dad. He had a gun safe in his room, but and I don't believe he took it with him. I imagine he took the guns, but they left town in a hurry, so I imagine the safe wasn't a priority. But
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever opened it.
Okay.
Well, that is certainly very useful to know that. Thank you.
All right. Well, like I said, you can always talk to me. I'll be down at my office. It's not like I got just a mountain of paperwork or anything like that. It's a pretty small town.
Mhm.
So, I'm always available if you need me to answer any more of your questions.
Just to be clear, you don't still talk to Kevin at all, do you?
No, haven't heard of him since.
Can I make a check?
Yeah.
Can I make a check to see if he's lying? Because boy, do I not want him to call them right now. Notice or streetwise?
I would allow either one.
Okay. I know when my students are lying.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2. I have no idea when my students are lying.
We do have our bennies back. It's
You
in
do
your
have bennies,
possession.
yeah. So that's right. You got three
Yes, we will.
bennies.
But we are going into a creepy haunted house, so
That's also fair.
I'll save it.
Okay. Yeah. He seems on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no kind of standard giveaways or tells
Cool.
that he was lying.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. And he gets up and he kind of reaches across the desk and shakes all of your hands again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you all have a great day, have a great stay. Definitely come and talk to me before you leave town. Want to just get caught up. If you find any new information or anything like that, I very much appreciate getting filled in on what that was. Because I mean, anything that can help put a close on that chapter of the town would be, very helpful to a lot of folks. So,
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, y'all have a wonderful day. And kind of goes and opens the door and waits for you all to walk out because he's not going to leave you in Hank's office.
Right.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
ransack it because
Getting-
we're a bunch of hooligans.
More hooligans. Yeah. Get back in the car and. Was it weird that he just showed up here?
I mean, it does seem very coincidental, but it is also a very small town, and apparently everyone knows we're looking into them. So either this is some super long term, sleeper agent brainwashing thing that they left behind, or it's small town gossip, and we are the most exciting thing to happen here in months.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, what do you think? You were pretty quiet in there.
I mean, honestly, I'm still coming to terms with exactly the situation we're in.
Yeah.
It could go either way. I mean, I'm not suspicious that I wouldn't be suspicious that he showed up if not for what the nature of what we're dealing with.
Yeah. That's kind of a lot of it. Okay, so we're gonna go to the house now, or do we go talk to the old man?
Probably talk to the old police chief first, given
Okay.
how often it sounds like people go check out the house and don't come back.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Did we name this police chief?
Don't think we did. If we did, it's
Mm-mm.
not in my notes. What's the crime dog's name? Scruff McGruff.
Scruff McGruff.
What's a name that sounds like Scruff? Because he can't be just named Scruff McGruff.
Maybe that's his
Um,
nickname, but um, what if he's Clarence McGruff?
Clarence McGruff.
Yeah.
Got it. He goes by Scruff.
Yeah.
Love
Clarence,
that.
aka Scruff McGruff. Okay. So you're gonna go see Clarence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you basically right now you only know of his existence. I don't think you know where he lives.
Yeah.
Oh. By the way,
Oh, talking to
can we ask
there.
Daniel?
Yeah. As you're all walking out to the car. Yeah. And you ask him where Clarence is, I assume.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's staying over, and he's staying over. He's above Mrs. So and So's garage
Oh,
over on. He kind of gives you directions.
yeah. Go down the one road, and turn left.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Absolutely. You as well. Be careful with old Scruff out there. He's
Okay.
he's not doing
Ornery.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
Okay,
any kind of
thank you.
peace offering we should bring him? Stop by the grocery store on the way over?
He likes his beer. I don't know if that'll help you or not, though.
Can't hurt. So we'll add that to the list of things to do. Stop and get some beer. Take it to the 80-year-old former police chief.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you pull up and yeah, you see what he's talking about now. It's this house. It's a little bit bigger, and you see the driveway kind of like goes at an angle, kind of away from the house, towards what looks like it used to be like a barn, and it has been converted into a large garage, and you see stairs going up the side to a door, and it's got its own little address painted on there. It's, you know, whatever her address is and a half.
We are we gonna strategize on this one, or I mean, I feel like I don't know how he's crazy or why he's crazy, but if he believes us, should we tell him what we know?
I suppose we'll have to see. It's based on what I remember. I'm trying to remember if this is something the city or no, because this was we heard from the waitress that his whole family died shortly after he took over. You know, 5 years after. Did we hear how they died, or just they all died horribly?
I don't think you've heard how they died yet.
Yeah, so potential sore spot, his family, but it could also maybe be related. But it would also be like 5 years before Tommy went on his killing spree.
Yeah. Okay. Just play it by ear then.
Yeah. Now I wish I had just like a corkboard with red yarn behind me.
All right. We go and knock on the door.
You just hear kind of in an old gravelly yell. Someone just, who is it?
Mr. McGruff, we're here to ask you some questions, hopefully. We brought beer. I don't know if you've heard yet, we're the new folks in town. We're new in town.
Mm-hmm. All right, give me all of you give me a notice check.
Notice, okay.
I'm good at noticing today.
That's with a raise. Oh, you
I am
both got
also good at
the raise.
noticing.
Yeah.
And we'll just roll for Sarah just in case. Sarah's okay at
Okay.
noticing.
You all hear it. You all hear the sound of
A shotgun.
of a gun cocking, and you hear him say, "Come on in."
Whoa! Excuse me, Mr. McGruff. I'm sorry. We are writing a paper on some occurrences in town. There's no need for any violence. We promise. If you don't want us to talk to you, we don't have to talk to you.
Yeah, the door's still closed. You're not seeing anything.
Yeah. Just like back away from the door so we're not like right in the way if he shoots through the door.
James would like turn the knob with one hand like off to the side and kind of open it, but also like hold the beer out so that it's visible.
You're the door's kind of creaking open, and you're putting the beer through, and you see a foot kind of come down at the bottom of the door and kind of swing the door open, and you see him in the room. He's got the shotgun pulled up, and kind of gives you a look, and he kind of puts the shotgun kind of towards the ground and looks outside, looks past you kind of both ways. All right. Come on in.
Okay. Lets James go first and just grabs onto the back of his shirt.
Yeah. James will go in.
We're terribly sorry to disturb you on this beautiful day. We have questions about the fire and the Hamiltons and the Hamiltons' house.
You said you're new in town?
We're just
What are
visiting.
you digging up all this shit?
Would you believe us if we said that something very similar is happening where we're from?
Oh, man. Yeah. Kind of starts pacing a little bit. There nothing can be happening again.
She pulls out the piece of paper and unfolds the picture. These are my new neighbors, and they haven't aged since this picture.
He kind of brings the shotgun up. He kind of looks at the picture, and he just gets this look of rage in his face, and he goes,
Folds
"That
the
is a
paper
bunch
back
of
up.
shit, and you know it. What are you doing here, torturing me?"
I promise I'm not torturing you. I promise we are being as truthful as a baby lamb. I'm sorry, I'm panicking.
Okay, maybe we should tell him a little bit. We came here because we heard about the lightning storms. We also came here fleeing the son who threw a car at us.
That's not possible. You guys are. I don't get what
Crazy?
your angle is here.
We have been killed multiple times by these people, and we just want it to end. And we've seen their machine, and we know that they're hurting people, and we want to stop them.
I want yeah, want a persuasion check
Is
from
there an
each of
honesty
you.
check? Can I roll psychology? Because I can see the disposition of this person, and
Yeah.
I know that truth is the
Use
best
it.
way out.
Use it to talk to him. Well, sure,
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Thanks.
Well, that is a 4.
It's
Yeah.
a 4. Okay. Whew.
He's calms down a little bit. He puts the gun down, and he kind of just starts pacing. I can't pay. It's not happening again. That's not happening. You guys. And he just looks like he's having a panic attack.
It's from what our research
I
has
get
found.
one of the
It's
beers
happened.
out and hand it over as Clara is telling him this stuff.
Yeah, he just cracks one and chugs it.
It's happened a few times before, as far back as when the French were discovering this country. So it seems like it's quite the vicious cycle.
This can't be. So now I put an end to this shit. It's not happening again.
We need your help. We need to ask you a few questions to make sure, to see if you have any knowledge that will help us stop this.
All right. He grabs another one of the beers. This one he's drinking a little more slowly.
Yeah.
But he sits down.
Still gonna lean over to Sarah and say, maybe we should have gotten 2 6-packs.
He sits down on his he's got one of those old, and now that you're in here and you're looking around, he doesn't have any proper furniture. He's got like a small TV on what looks like a dinner tray stand that you'd like pull up to like a couch or something. He's got that by a wall, and then he's got in this room he's got 4 of those old like beach chairs that fold up, and they're like got that rubbery like squeaky plastic material stretched between them that are like green and white. One of them is 100% broken and cannot be used, but is just sitting there in the room, and he sits down on one and he reaches under it and he pulls out an empty liquor bottle and throws it, reaches under it, pulls out another one, and takes a drink of what looks like Tennessee whiskey, and then puts it down and starts drinking the beer.
Thank you.
He goes, I'm sorry. He reaches under his chair and he gets another bottle of whiskey and puts it over by the other chairs for you guys to share.
Kind. She
James
passes
will
it to Sarah.
politely take a pull.
Sarah takes a drink, passes it to James.
So, the Hamiltons lived here for quite some time after 1935. And after they lived here for a while, it was believed that they started the fire at the church. Do you know why?
Yeah, sacrificing folks. Whatever dark gods it is they worship.
That's interesting. We've only seen them sacrifice people with a machine that makes bright lightning.
I don't know I've seen the machine, and I seen them use it. And
You have?
yeah.
Is this the cycle where we took... No, we took photos in the cave. I don't know that we took any photos of the machine.
No.
Well, yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah, I mean, I said you. All right. Sorry, what are your questions? Starts drinking more of the beer.
Why do you think that the fire was a sacrifice?
That's what they're always doing. It's their whole angle. That's why they kept killing people. I don't know what their gods are after, but they want you to suffer. They want you to die so many times.
so many times. Have you died multiple times?
I have.
Okay. Did they ever discover that you were in the loop?
I mean, almost every time I died. I mean, the last one they didn't, but they'd run out of town. By then they did the church. They'd never done the church before. That was the first time they did that, and then they just left. And I don't know. And then I thought I was done. After I took over, the old police chief, pretty sure he was, I think he might have been working with them. I think that's why they never got investigated none. And I took over, and then I started trying to look into, started trying to track them down. That's when they killed my daughters and my wife.
I'm so sorry.
So they came back into town for that?
They tried to stop me. I got the better of them, though.
How?
Did?
Yeah.
How did you get the better of them?
Well, I used to be in the Army, and I got some friends who still were, and I had, when all this was going down, I had managed to get my hands on a few grenades, and they came out after me. I wasn't home when they got my family. They came out after me. I managed to I got him alone in the woods, and I got him with those grenades. Yeah, I killed him.
Oh.
So that's why you see, right? You're wrong. Wrong. None of this stuff's happening to you, dear. Don't you worry about it.
When you met the Hamiltons for the first time, you shook their hands, right?
Yeah, the static shock. Yeah.
Yep. Static shock Whoever kills you, you wake up again, shaking their hand.
Mm-hmm. Only comfort I have is that maybe in some other life, still got those, still got, still got my girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I almost let them get me just so I could see them again. But I knew this was the best chance I ever had. I had them all together, and I just threw that backpack of grenades right in them, and yeah,
And you saw them blow up?
yeah, it's not in the pieces.
David,
Mm-hmm.
the gap between them being here and then them moving down or in the timeline of their moving, was there a gap?
Between the first time they're in Silver Falls and White Pines, yes, because they left
Okay.
Silver Falls like the shortly after or shortly before World War One, and they didn't show up until the like mid 1930s in White Pines.
Right, but after White Pines, was there a gap?
Between White Pines and going back to Silver Falls,
I don't remember because have they resurfaced since here that we know of?
Not. I'm trying to remember if we've had any talks of. I don't think we've explicitly had any dates
Yeah, I don't know.
since then, but there are some. There's some other. There's been some lightning
Yeah.
possibilities that have been lumped into all this stuff that have been after.
Okay.
Them have been between the two dates.
Okay. Okay. Have you been to the house? You've seen the machine, right?
Yes.
So you know they have a basement?
I never saw the basement. They had the machine in a barn.
Oh. Okay. That's actually helpful. That's very helpful. When the police chief at the time, like, was helping them, do you have any idea how they managed that?
How they managed to get the police chief to help them?
Yeah.
Oh, I figure they recruited probably about half the town. That's why I got to be so careful around here.
Yeah.
But
Do you
no, I
suspect the
mean,
mayor?
huh?
Do you think the mayor would have been?
Daniel? Yeah, little fucker. Yeah, of course. Of course they had. He was best friends with that little son of a bitch, Kevin. Of course he was. Of course he was on board. His family didn't die in the church. Yeah, think about that, huh? Such sick bullshit.
Oh. Okay. Leans over to James. We might have to leave faster than I thought we were going to. So let's is there anything else you wanted to ask him?
I'm sure James would have questions. Alex is blanking on some right
Mhm.
this minute.
Oh, did they have any weaknesses that you know besides being blown up? Anything
What
that
do you
hurt
mean?
them?
Like
A knife or
like garlic with
silver.
vampires or some shit?
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
nothing like that. They just tough sons of bitches. I
Um,
mean, you bring them, you hurt them, they go in their stupid little machine and they're better again. And
mhm.
I mean, you just got to come at them hard.
Yeah. Did you find any documents or books that had writing in a different language in it?
Uh, in my investigation, yeah, I can. He goes, I still got that somewhere, and he kind of goes back into another room, and you hear stuff kind of getting thrown around.
After we go to the house, we should leave.
I'm gonna step outside, keep an eye out, see if anyone is approaching this way, because Mayor knows we're here.
Exactly.
I've lost track of who in our party has guns where, but is going to. Because I think
Sarah has a
James is the
gun.
one
One of
who
them,
doesn't
yeah.
own a gun, but may
Yeah.
borrow either Clara's or Sarah's, and just step out onto like the porch, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, Sarah will let you have her gun. And yeah, he comes back in a few minutes later. You hear like some stuff crash and stuff like maybe
Mhm.
through something that was glass across the room and it breaks.
Mhm.
And he kind of comes back out and he goes, "Yeah, I found a few things," and he just hands you like an old police evidence box. This was, it's not all there anymore. I've gone through it, a lot of times over the years. Make sure I remember it right. It all happened the way it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple of books in here, and he pulls out one. He goes, this one's in like it's like fucking German or some shit, and I don't know how to read that." And there's another one here. It's like a journal or something, and it's like written with like pencil. See, it's fading, and he's flipping through it. He goes, "That's I recognize a lot of these. These is like that's clearly Latin or something. I've seen the movies."
Yeah, I can read Latin. Do you mind if I take a look?
Go ahead.
Okay. I would like to attempt to read some of these languages I know, as I wrote it down. English, Greek, Ancient Roman, and French.
Okay. So first off, with you being you have like a linguist thing or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, you immediately recognize the one that he says is German is not German.
Yeah.
It is very clearly Old English.
Mm-hmm.
But the one in Latin is Latin. He did get that right.
Good.
And yeah, you just start reading it. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he is giving these to us, right? He is just like, you can look at them.
I think now that you're saying you can read the Latin, he's very clearly expecting you to
read it,
share.
Okay. Cool.
But you were under the impression he was giving you the books. They didn't do him any good. He just had them.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I will read to him what I can. In English. Never read Latin out loud, guys. If the mummy has taught us anything.
Yeah. So where do you start?
Let's start with the Latin document.
Where in the journal? Where do you start?
Oh,
Front,
boy,
back, middle?
Let's go for the last page real quick.
All right. You start reading it, and it's I can't believe he left. He said he would never leave. How could he do this to me? I thought we were in love.
Uh-huh.
We were going to be together forever. Blah, 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 that kind of stuff.
I just had a really bad thought. Like doing one of the timelines have Clara try to seduce Matt Jr. because he's not actually 17. He's like really old. Sorry. Okay. That's an option. Sorry, I just all right. That's interesting. I'll flip back a little bit, see if I can get context for that.
All right. You start kind of flipping back a few pages, and you start seeing it talk about the church burning down. And it's things along the lines of like all went according to plan. Um, Kevin seems disappointed though, like something didn't work right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it talks about him being a little bit on edge.
Mm-hmm. Um. Okay. Um. Is there anything else about the fire?
That you kind of go flip a little for that, and kind of skimming through, and you see it starts to detail the plan to trap a bunch of these people in the church and burn it down. And it talks about Kevin being so frustrated with this version that they've clearly have overstayed their welcome, that they've, two people already died. Every time he meets someone, every third person he meets, it's someone he's killed before.
Oh.
And that they can't keep up, that they're just gonna have to abandon this town. And so they just need to get as many people can together, and that starts to hatch the plan of killing everyone in the church.
Oh. Okay, well that tells us that they know that the time loop thing happens, and it tells us what. So what? Like, I wonder if they've relived the loops.
So,
oh my god, I'm thinking with portals now. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
so here's one question I have as a player, but
yeah.
Is there a way to tell kind of the tone that the speaker has for Kevin? Does it seem father to son, or does it seem more like equals?
It seems like someone obsessed with Kevin and in love with him romantically.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, and then this is maybe another question, and I know that this part isn't the most reliable in general, but would Claire be able to compare the handwriting to the journal she saw before that seemed to be Dr. Miller's? Is it the same handwriting? Is it different?
Very clearly different.
And it's in Latin, so I like. Where did you find this journal?
Found it over at the Hamilton's house. I'm in the mayor's woods. Found it over in the Hamilton's house there.
Yeah. Wow. Can I go back to the beginning and see if I can like suss out who this person is?
Yeah. His name is written in Latin in the front of the book. It is Daniel Thompson's journal.
Why does he know Latin?
Dun, dun.
As you start to read the front of the book, he speaks about how frustrating it is to start this book over again. He's written it so many times now.
Oh. He's died. He was killed and he's in love with him. Oh my god. I think learning this, Clara just kind of like closes the book, puts it back in the box, puts the top on the box, and says, "You should probably go out for a while. We're gonna go now. And I'm sorry for bothering you. And thank you for this. I will write you and let you know how it goes. Okay?"
Are you reading any of that stuff, the front page, out loud?
I think she did. I don't think that I think like in the translation, she's just like, Daniel Thompson, the mayor.
And yeah, I think as you're kind of doing that, he is kind of backing up from you, and you see him kind of start to get this look of rage in his face. And he runs and grabs a shotgun, and he starts walking towards the front door.
James.
So I guess I'm out there as he comes out with a shotgun.
Yeah. You see Clarence kind of come out with the shotgun, and he just kind of starts. He walks right past you, and he just mumbling to himself, "Kill that motherfucker."
What happened? And like starting to go down the stairs after him.
Apparently Daniel Thompson was the lover of Kevin and was madly in love with him and wrote a journal about it and knew everything, and he knows that the mayor is this person, and now he wants to go kill him. I thought we should leave.
Yeah, should we stop him, or?
I feel like we should.
Okay, McGruff, I can see that you are clearly very upset right now, but what will going and shooting the mayor accomplish? And keep in mind, this is going to look like, from everyone else in town, it's going to seem like crazy old man finally lost it and went and killed the mayor.
Yeah.
I'm just.
What's your point?
Is that what you want?
I don't give a shit. I want to go kill the little fucker who helped kill everyone in this town, help kill my family. He's gonna die.
Okay. What?
Me as a player, I'm very torn about this situation.
Yeah.
Clara would want to stop him, but also like I get it.
Yeah. I think I understand that. But what if I told you that we could help you blow up the Hamiltons again?
It kind of shakes him out of him for a second. No, I already killed them. All right. I don't know who is doing this again. All right, but that's your problem. I killed the folks who killed my family. If you want to change his mind from it, I'm going to need a persuasion.
Yeah, which we're not good at, but I think it's still worth a shot. Because also, I'm just imagining if we get Scruff McGruff as what's the term for the minions in this?
Oh, an extra?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want Scruff McGruff to join your team?
Do we?
Maybe in this timeline. I don't know. It's an interesting possibility, but also I'm not gonna, save Scum if we don't get him. If we fail this persuasion roll. So.
Oh boy.
Okay, an unskilled check. That's a -1. That's Snake Eyes.
And Snake Eyes. Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
Is this a wild card? Right? Is that what I'm rolling?
Unskilled wild card.
Okay.
Roll if you're trying to do persuasion. Yeah.
Oh boy. She's done it.
Oh. You did it.
I did do it. Thank you, Roll20.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mr. McGruff, people, I know that you have done more than your service in this regard, but people that we know and that we love are dying, and we need to stop them, and we need your help.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I know. I definitely. I need to think more than a few folks when all this was going on. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get in the car, get anything you need, and we're gonna go to the Hamilton's house.
Kind of looks at you weird, and he walks in, and you see him. He's in there for maybe 30 seconds before he walks back out with his bottle of Tennessee whiskey, and he goes and gets in the back seat of the car.
Looks at James, looks at Sarah. That's fair. Okay, let's go.
James wouldn't know about the evidence box, but do either of you grab it? Because I
Yes,
think he did
yes,
not.
I had grabbed it on the way out. And I will be reading that on the drive over.
All right. So yeah, as you read the journal more, it you clearly figure out that Daniel has become a part of some sort of cult around the Hamiltons. That there's a group of people in the town that were working directly for them, and that he and his family were one of the few to be spared from the church. It seems that it's some point whenever in any of these loops the Hamiltons were ready to leave town, they would kill a pretty significant amount of their cultists before they left, and then they'd leave some alive to keep an eye on things. But this was the first time Daniel was ever left to not go, repeat the cycle and be with his love. He saw it as some kind of form of like eternal life that he got to spend forever with this man that he loved.
Holy shit. Okay. Boy, this got very complicated. Very fast. I mean, not that it wasn't, but this is awesome. Okay.
I think this is probably a good place for a break.
Yeah.
As you're on the way over.
All right. So, thank you everyone for hanging with us this far. I had too many I and you sounds in there. I was gonna jumble them up. We are gonna take ourselves a quick break. Get some more water, get some snacks, take our meds, stretch, etc. All that good stuff. You should do the same. If you're watching this later on YouTube or something, you have the the convenience of pausing. But for those of us who are stuck living in real time, we are going to take about 5 to 10 minutes here. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Internet. We're back. We're refreshed. We're ready to go. Hope you had some water. If you didn't have water, drink it now. I'll wait. Here, I'll even drink with you. So it's not like I'm pressuring you into it. Or at least I'm not bullying you into it. I may be peer pressuring you into it, but...
It's okay to pressure people into healthy activities.
For the most part. As long as you don't go overboard.
Yeah, there's always a line, but there's a light amount of pressure that's acceptable.
Yeah. Anyway, we were gonna go check out a spooky house and try and not get murdered by some cultists who are almost certainly hunting us now.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you've been there before. You drive right over. And I have not forgotten about your snake eyes, just so you know.
Yep.
But
who rolled snake eyes? James, did you roll snake eyes?
That was me attempting to convince
How
McCoy.
dare you?
So we'll see what that does.
What have you done?
probably made it so the cultists are there waiting for us. But I will, because James is driving, give Sarah back the gun and says, I think I'll let the three of you handle the guns once we're there. I'll just stick with my fists, or probably has a wrench at his belt or something. Just go go full Bioshock on him.
Okay.
Scruff in the back. You don't got no gun?
I mean, not me personally, but
Son, you should have said I got 3 or 4 back at the place. I could have got you one of them. He goes, all right, and he goes down and he kind of reaches down towards his boot and he pulls up and he goes, it's not another gun, but he hands you a big old hunting knife.
which I do wonder, because I did take that scrapper edge, which I think may make me as effective barehanded. I don't actually know the comparative stats, but at least to appease McGruff in the moment, we'll take the hunting knife.
Okay. Yeah, if you're good at just like barehanded fighting, that's fine. But yeah.
Something about, let's see, because so Scrapper makes it so that my unarmed attacks are strength plus a d4, and then I have some other things as well that should make me tougher in a fight.
Okay, so let's see. Is there a modern hunting knife? Hand weapons. Here we go. This is what I want. Modern. Survival knife. It's a D4. It's the exact same for you.
Okay. So, we'll take it to appease the cranky old man, but we'll probably forget about it in the moment.
Yeah. It's in a sheath, so you can like put it on your belt or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you make your way there, and do you park on the road, or do you drive up the kind of overgrown gravelly driveway?
Gonna quickly confer with the other passengers, but say, now that we might have more of a time limit, probably better for us to drive along the road.
And maybe like park the car in a way where we can go easily.
Yep. Unless I'm assuming that the way it is, like, we couldn't just park the car across the driveway and, no one can get onto the property now. There's probably plenty of ways to drive around. It's not like too hilly or walls or something.
There wouldn't be much of a way to drive around. You're not even sure you'll be able to make this car all the way up the driveway. It's so overgrown and there's trees everywhere. Like I said, you can't see the house through the woods here.
So then maybe we leave. Well, but we have an 80-year-old man who can't move quickly. So I guess before we make this decision, quickly asking McGruff, how far back is the house?
It's like it's a good half mile or so back there.
Okay, so we should probably try and drive as far as we can.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a drive check.
Oh,
it's
boy.
difficult terrain.
Maybe at this point I get out and let Sarah start driving because she is the best driver among us.
Okay.
So I will let her roll the drive check. That's a 19. She got 2 8s and a 3.
That's my sister right there. She's driven in war.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Sarah gets in and deftly maneuvers this car up this overgrown gravel road. It looks like it hasn't been used in 30 years. And yeah, there's definitely a few places where she kind of has to go off the driveway and kind of go around like a new tree that's been growing. Like they're not big, but I mean, you can't drive over a 6 foot tall tree that's
Yeah.
a couple inches in diameter.
Mhm.
So yeah, you've made it there. It'll She got up there pretty quick, but it took longer than it should have to drive through here. So it won't be a quick escape, even by car,
Mhm.
through these woods. But you see the house. It looks about how you would imagine a house to look like that hasn't had any upkeep in several decades. And you've seen the blueprints for it, so yeah, it looks pretty run down. There's a lot of broken windows, and the front door seems to be open.
Was it open the last time you were here, Scruff?
I've been to this place in 30 years at least.
Okay. James, do you want to go first?
Sure. So kind of looking at Sarah like, is that good military tactics to let the one without a gun go in front of the people with the guns?
She kind of, no, how about I go first? I at least had training on how to clear a room. So
That's it. Military. Mm-hmm. Air Force.
kind of gives you, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't need any shit from you. It's not like we spent a lot of time on the gun training, but I had some.
Yeah.
So yeah, she kind of takes the lead and takes the gun out, and she's kind of got it kind of low and is moving through clearing the rooms.
Yep.
While we're walking, I think I'm gonna lean back to Scruff so that Sarah doesn't hear and just ask, on your time loops, did anything weird happen or things that weren't there before suddenly show up?
You're gonna have to be a little more specific than that, miss.
Like people who you didn't know before suddenly know you?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's
Okay.
some changes.
Yeah. It's just we've only died twice, but we've had some interesting things come up.
Oh. Well, I'm so sorry. You all are new to this then.
Yeah, how many times did you die? Oh, I'm very sorry.
You get caught sometimes in a bit of a situation where they just get you over and over again, and you just lose track.
Yeah. Okay. Turns back. We're checking, like, I feel like we should check for the basement.
Well, so there's the basement, there's the gun safe in the doctor's old room. Those are the two main points of interest. There's
And then
also
the barn.
Yeah. So I think I'm torn because James is the lock picker, but he's also the one who previously went through the magic illusion into the basement at the Miller's house. But so maybe if he just tells, I'm trying to figure out how we split the party, or if we just stick together for this, because
we're not splitting up in a haunted house. Are you kidding me?
D&D sensibilities say do not split the party in a haunted house. But so we should maybe start with the gun safe, because that's probably going to be the easiest, relatively speaking. And maybe James will get a gun. Or it's gonna be like, you you open a safe in Fallout and there's 3 bottle caps.
Hmm.
But
Right.
we'll see.
Why did someone put bottle caps in this pre-apocalypse safe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Video game logic.
yeah. I at least like in some of them where some of the buildings that haven't been gotten into since before the apocalypse, where you find all the bottle caps in trash cans.
Yeah.
That's always nice. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. So you go. What's this guy's name? Clarence leads you right up to the Hamiltons, master bedroom. And actually, you've seen the blueprints. You could go there yourself. But yeah, you make your way there, and there's probably about like a 4.5 foot tall gun safe. It's pretty big. You get why someone might have left it
They
here.
probably left it, yeah. Do you think
But
we
at the
can
same
get in
time,
there?
it probably weighs less than a car. So, and you've seen one of them throw a car before.
That's
so.
true. That's true.
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly a safe cracker, but I know a little bit about it. Can certainly give it a shot.
I think I gave Clarence a little bit of lock picking because it's just going to be lock picking.
Yeah. I've got a D6
So-
in it. I don't know if he's better.
I named him Scruff. That's right.
Yes.
On the character sheet. His lock picking is a D8,
Okay.
but he's not a wild card, so he just rolls the D8.
Ooh.
So actually, you don't roll off of his sheet.
Okay.
If you ever roll, just like type in a D8.
Good to know. Okay, but so probably better with
He
the
can
wild.
give you like their version of advantage though, where you get to
Okay.
roll an extra one of your skill dice.
All right. So I guess I should click lock picking, but then roll an extra D6 afterwards, and we'll just see what the.
Yeah.
Okay.
See which one's the best.
Yep. Okay, so lock picking. Okay, so I got 2 5s. And I guess we'll see if this is a 6 and explodes. It is. Okay, so
It
another
is.
D6. Okay, so 10
Okay.
total.
Yeah, that's a raise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you get into it pretty quick. This is a really old model safe, and in your time doing your handyman work, it has you have had to break into one of these before for legitimate reasons. And yeah, you know exactly what to do. You know right where to go. Sadly you don't quite have the tools for something like this, but you kind of know how to listen for it and what to listen for, and
Mm-hmm.
you takes like 10 minutes and you open the safe.
And it explodes because it was trapped.
Yeah. No. You open the safe and there is a small. There's a lot of cobwebs and stuff in here, and there's the empty gun racks. But there's a small, looks like wooden box that seems to be elaborately carved, just with like some flowers and stuff like that, kind of carved onto it, and it's got like a small little lock on it. Looks like maybe like a jewelry box or something like that.
Well, I could start fiddling with this if we think it's important, or we can just grab it and move on.
Let's just take it for now. I'm sorry, can you one more time? What was in the safe?
Cobwebs,
Yeah,
empty
so
gun
like an
rack, and the box.
An empty gun rack?
Mm-hmm.
Is the box big enough to fit in like my purse? Or
Yeah,
small
it's
enough?
like a small jewelry box, or like it's about the size of those boxes where you'd open it up and you'd see like a ballerina inside rolling around.
This size?
Yeah.
I keep my lipstick, but
All right.
All right.
Now, I guess the question is, do we try for the hidden basement, or do we go to the barn where the machine is?
well, the machine won't be. It probably won't be there because they move it. But I think. But you saw the blueprints, right?
Yep.
So let's see if we can find this basement.
All right. Yeah, you know roughly where to look based on the blueprints and where the entry should be. So yeah, just give me. Everyone can roll investigate. Someone can roll with the version of advantage or whatever where you get an extra dice.
Sure.
I have a D10 in
I
investigation.
technically think that it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And I don't know if this will affect things, but James is specifically looking for illusions like the Millers were using at the barbecue.
Okay. Yeah, you know what to look for a little bit better, which makes it easier. But this will be one of those things where it's probably going to be a higher target number than just 4, just since there's magic involved.
Yeah.
Do you want to help me or do you want to both roll?
We should probably both roll. But I also only have a D4 in investigation. So let's see. Okay, but then do we basically each get advantage because we have 2 extras?
That's true. They could be helping you. Because, yeah. So you could roll. You could roll
again?
another D10. Yeah. Not again. You just roll 1 D10. And if it's better than the ones you've already rolled.
Nope.
I got 3 3s.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Well, so you have a 6.
I did get a 6. Is that enough?
Roll that again. I just want to make sure that's going to actually.
Oh, because you did
D6?
1D/10, so that may not have actually rolled a 1D10.
You might have rolled a D1. That's what I wonder.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
But I only got a 2.
Okay. I've definitely rolled a D one before on this. But yeah. All right. So you got a 6. What is this? Why is it a 6 and you rolled a 6?
I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Yeah, but it's a D10, not a D6. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why isn't this acing? Okay.
Nope.
All right. Yeah, you stumble around here for a while. Someone can use a Benny if you want.
This may be a good time for it.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. If that's not enough, just roll again.
Yeah. And this will be your advantage included. You just get the whole roll over.
Okay. That's a 9.
Okay.
And 4.
Okay. So yeah, the 9 will do you. Yeah, you get your raise. So yeah, you're spending a while on this and you're not finding anything. And then something kind of catches your eye. There's a section of the wall that's not dirty.
Ooh.
And it's kind of like behind some furniture, and so you wouldn't have thought like to look. You got to move that out of the way, and your hand moves through the wall.
James, Scruff, Sarah, bless you.
So much dust. Good find.
Okay. Sarah, do you wanna go first? Just be careful.
Yeah. Kind of reaches through and finds the doorknob and tries to open it, and it's locked.
Oh,
Okay, well, I guess I'll give that a shot. Get down, stick his head through the illusion, and start trying to pick that lock.
All right.
Well, let me go ahead and roll with Scruff's help. See if that's a 5. But if that's not enough, I can't use a Benny.
Yeah, that's good enough. It's just a regular lock. It's from the 30s too, so it's probably a skeleton key. So, yeah, you get it open. Sarah gets in front. Probably at this point going to be followed by, I think, Clarence. I think there's probably some grumblings about how uncomfortable he is with a lady taking the lead on this. But he lets it be. He understands she's in the Air Force. There's some respect among soldiers to an extent there, but yeah, he follows her, and you guys go down after, and it is pitch black dark in here.
I don't know that
Ooh,
any of us specifically have.
I have a flashlight. It's on my gear.
Okay.
All right. And
I'll
yeah,
pass it up so that Scruff has it.
Or maybe James holds it because he's probably the tallest. He also has the most hands free currently.
That's fair.
no one else. You're not having to carry a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of start shining the flashlight around, and it is got there's a lot of shelves around here, and the shelves have a lot of them are empty, and it looks like there was some like storage down here and whatnot. You see some runes on the floor, and ceiling in places, but they're the same kind of runes, but they're clearly a little different from the ones you've seen in the basement. And as you keep kind of going around, you find a section of shelves that are not empty. They have these big jars on them. There's maybe about there's maybe about 20 of these jars,
Boy.
and they're filled with something that kind of looks almost like from here it's kind of grainy and white, and if you want to, you can roll a notice to see what it is, or you can get closer and see what it is.
Yeah, gonna attempt, but James is very likely going to go up and stick his nose, not literally in the jar, but go see what they are.
Yeah, I mean, walking up to it, it looks to be kind of like small crystals, and the white there's kind of a little bit of a blue to them in there as well. James, you've seen these before. These are what they turn people into before they fall into the goop.
Oh my god.
So this is
and as you look,
people.
you briefly see some lettering kind of under the dust under one of these jars.
Wipe it away.
Start wiping it away, and there's names under each jar. You recognize some of the names, Clara, from your investigations of people that had gone missing.
Should I take one?
About how big is a jar?
Um, it is relative. It's about they're about the size of that peanut thing you had earlier.
This?
Yeah.
Oh God, no. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Or not peanut, the pretzels. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least head size, probably more.
Oh, yeah, no, never mind. Um,
Yeah, this is a big section of shelves, by the way.
Mhm.
Like, and you see that the shelves that they're on, they're built around the entire circumference of the room, and this is just taking up like a part of one of the walls because this is an enormous basement.
I, um, I'm sorry, Scruff. We should keep going.
He's kind of, yeah, see him just kind of walking along and reading some of the names to himself.
I am gonna make a note of the runes and try and copy them best I can.
Does it seem like there's more to the basement, or is it just an enormous shelving storage thing, or is there a corridor leading to a secret tunnel?
You don't see any corridors towards secret tunnels right now. It just looks like an enormous storage area.
Okay.
You see some like broken, like parts of like pallets and stuff like that down here. It looks like they were storing quite a bit of stuff down here at one point.
I think gonna go poke around and poke some parts of walls, see if there are more illusions, but doesn't seem like there's too much else to the basement for us to learn. So I don't know if that's gonna be an investigation.
Yeah, give me an investigation.
What?
Oh,
That's a 17.
665. All right.
Yay, being a
Whoa.
wild card.
Yeah. Pays to be a wild card. Yeah. So, all right. Yes. You're poking around leads to leads you to find one of these shelves. It's kind of loose, and you kind of press on it, and you hear a click, and this whole section of shelving, kind of like you hear kind of like a whoosh as it kind of moves towards you a little bit, but stops.
I didn't expect that to work.
What did you do?
I think I found a secret basement. And I'm assuming it's on some kind of hinge or something, or trying to move this section away so we can get at whatever's behind.
Yeah, so basically you figure it out. You have to pull it out, and it's kind of like on rails, and then it can spin away to open. But yeah, so you got to get it past all the other shelving before you can open it like a door.
Yeah.
But yeah, open it up, and you walk back into a much smaller room, and this one is odd. You immediately see there's some runes on the floor and the ceiling again. They look fairly similar to the ones outside that you saw. How similar, you'd have to compare, but they're roughly the same size and the same configuration looking. And in front of it, there's kind of like a small altar, and there is kind of a golden idol, it looks like. And you you immediately recognize it to be one of these lizard creatures that you've read about.
So if we touch that, is it gonna clam our soul, or would this be good for us to grab and keep as something to investigate further?
That's a good question, DM. Would I know after reading about him?
The stuff you've read about the lizard people have been largely
People
under the
not.
impression that they're UFOs or aliens.
Okay, cool.
Or monsters. So you don't know much about this.
Okay, Clara is going to quickly start taking off her shirt, her button up, and she's going to place it around this thing and make sure there's not a pressure plate under it. But then she's going to grab it.
Roll me and
hold on.
investigate to make sure there's not a pressure plate under it.
Was that
Okay,
movie
okay,
out
okay.
yet?
What?
Was the first Indiana Jones out yet?
Oh,
I don't think so.
81.
that's a 4.
Yeah, that's good enough.
I just roll a d10, so I'm like, it should be
You get
fine,
mad.
it's fine.
Yeah, I get
it's fine.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there's a pressure plate.
Okay.
But you move this idol. It is heavy.
Oh my god.
This is yeah. I mean, it's a golden idol. About the size of a small dog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's like bent over, holding
You're
this
like,
between her.
no pressure plate, and you're just kind of like, "Argh." Get
James will move
drag it off.
to carry it.
We'll carry it together. Team lift.
Well, hold on, because I think one of my things does actually make it so I can carry things better. He can carry 8 times his strength in pounds without penalty instead of the usual 5 times his strength.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll say it's good enough.
Yeah, so that means I can carry 64 pounds, I guess, which seems very small.
Without
Well,
penalty,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we'll say it's heavy. You got it. You're holding it with 2 hands. You can move fine. But if you have to start fighting, you're going to have to either drop it or hold it with 1 hand and fight one-handed with penalty.
Or I use it as a bludgeon. Beat them to
That's
death
true.
with their own idol.
That would be with a penalty too. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
But it would probably do more damage than a D4.
Yeah,
So,
if I land a hit. So,
yeah.
We'll see. It's almost like this might come up very soon. I don't know. But
Maybe.
yeah,
Who knows?
and I'll
All right.
kind of hold it like this and like still have the flashlight held, and so I'm just like, carrying it, but still trying to provide a light.
I think Sarah will grab the flashlight from you and just kind of hold it with her gun, kind of underneath her gun, as she's like, everyone's got to stay behind me now because I got the gun has to be up a little bit more now. So, but yeah, that's and as you're kind of pulling the statue off, there's a little bit of like a blanket over this altar that you pull off as well. And with it comes a few sheets of paper that had been like under this blanket on the altar.
Love paper. Let's go.
And you look at them, and it looks like diagrams for the runes in here, and some writing again in Latin. And yeah, it seems like a weird thing. You start reading through it, and your occult knowledge lets you quickly kind of pick up on this is some kind of spell.
Ooh, okay. It's a spell. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Puts it in the bag. Okay.
All right.
Unless
All
we
right.
want to
Let's.
try, third time's the charm in the secret basement. I would like to go put this in the car and then check out the barn.
Let's go put that in the car.
All right. Yeah, you put it in the car, and the car kind of shakes a little bit as you put it in the trunk.
James.
And you start heading towards the barn, which you don't see. Clarence is going to have to take you there. It's a little ways away from the house, and again, like there's you assume that at one point in time they had a backyard here, but it has been trees have grown up straight up to the house, right? Like.
And so it's impossible to get the car closer to the barn.
Yeah. It was the only thing that really saved the driveway from being as overgrown is how like compacted down the ground had been, and had gravel. It was a gravel road.
Yeah.
So yeah. But it's easy enough for you all to walk your way through. Maybe if you had a bigger car, like you had like a pickup truck, maybe you could force it through some of the smaller trees and stuff like that have started growing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you start walking through because it's not super thickly wooded. There's some paths, probably some like deer paths and stuff like that. You can walk through, and am I looking at? Oh yeah, I remember now. What is it? Slash roll, right?
Yeah, or
Yes.
I often use the double square brackets.
Okay. Oh, I need to figure out an order here. So, yeah. D. I'm gonna go with James is 1, Claire's 2, Sarah's 3,
Okay.
Scruff is 4.
Okay.
For what?
We'll see.
James. Yeah, this is a ranged attack, so it hits you with a raise. So
Well,
he gets to roll.
so I will say I have, as part of my brawny thing, Spolk resists damage better than most and adds +1 to his toughness.
Okay, that should be on your sheet.
Yes, I have added that, so.
All right, so now this is our first like real combat in this. So now that I've hit you, I have to roll damage. For you to actually take damage, it has to be over your toughness.
Okay.
If you take damage, you're like stuck. You basically can't take any actions on your turn.
Okay.
You can like move and stuff, but you can't do like actual actions.
Okay.
And if he gets over your toughness with a raise, that's a wound.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's gotta be.
I
That does
rolled
not beat my
absolute
toughness.
crap.
That wouldn't have even damaged me.
So, you're walking up, and you see the barn, and you hear kind of a whistle and a thunk as and James, you feel kind of a slight pain in your shoulder as you look over. There is an arrow that has grazed your shoulder and has pinned part of your shirt to this tree.
Rowan, and is gonna try and yank it out and start going.
Which
All right,
way did it come from? Are we
um,
running towards the barn or away from the barn? Is my question. Are we going back to the car or are we going to the barn?
It kind of came from like in the general direction of the barn off to the right,
Okay.
because it's kind of come this way and hit over
Yeah.
your left shoulder.
Okay. Do we need to go to the barn? Do we have to go to the barn?
We don't have to, and like you said, it's probably, they probably moved the machine. So,
Should we run back to the car?
that's probably
guys-
what we would do at this point. I mean, we've still only
Yeah.
died twice.
Yeah.
We'll see if Scruff tries to go out and blade the
Also,
glory or
well,
something.
here's the thing. If it's not one of them, are we gonna come back?
Yeah.
So I think we would assume that it's not one of them. We're not gonna come back, and it's time to go.
All right, this is a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
James again. 7 hit you.
I guess because that's trying to beat the parry, right?
No, that's right. I don't have to care as long as it's above a 4, but he doesn't get a raise.
Well, so
So
I guess
parry is only for melee combat.
okay, I guess I'm just
Everyone's
wondering
ranged
about that.
AC is 4.
Gotcha. So then I guess I'm just wondering what that first D10 was for.
Yeah.
Or okay.
He has to get above
right,
a
okay.
4.
But so
Yeah. And then
Okay.
the D4 was to
target
see who
me.
he was shooting at.
So now
And
you
then the
need to do-
3d6 is damage.
I don't see
but now it's
another
only 2d6.
3d6.
He's about to roll a 2d6.
Okay.
5.
Yeah, that doesn't beat my toughness.
Okay. Again, you kind of get a
Run!
scratch. As you guys weren't just dumb and like standing there talking.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
took cover and were talking about it. But like, what do we do? What do we do? And another arrow kind of hits the tree really close to where James is. And like some bark kind of gets in your eye and you're like, so
Yeah.
We run to the car, letting Sarah drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is anyone doing suppressing fire? I feel like Scruff would.
Well, so I was
uh
gonna say James might try and just pick him up and run because he's an 80-year-old man and isn't very good at running.
yeah. I think everyone runs and Sarah will do suppressing fire because James only has a double barrel shotgun.
Or Scruff does.
And you saw, or not James, Scruff has a double barrel shotgun, and you saw him as he was leaving, like put in a handful of shells in his jacket pocket. So, yeah, he's not doing suppressing fire.
No.
But yeah, Sarah kind of gives off a couple of pop shots, and you guys start running towards the car. With it being a run thing, I think this is going to be at Sarah now that since she's started shooting. But an arrow is going to go Sarah's way. And that hits.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Unless she's
Sarah's
super
toughness.
tough.
She's not that tough.
No. He's got a
All
5
right.
in toughness.
Yeah. So she she gets hit by the arrow. It's not bad, but it kind of you hear Sarah kind of yell out in pain, and you see her kind of having like fallen over on the ground, and she's got an arrow in her left shoulder, sticking out the back.
Clara immediately goes back for her, not thinking about it. Can I see anything in the woods?
Give me a notice check.
I will do that.
And so this is you're trying to basically beat his hide check that I've already rolled.
Yeah, no, I rolled a 3.
No, you don't.
Okay. I will fire 2 bullets in that direction as I help her up and continue to run.
Okay.
Should I roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a shoot. I think this is going to be like a wildfire thing where you're just kind of hoping to hit. So it's going to be with -2, I believe.
Okay.
But oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's gonna hit with a raise. So roll me an extra dice of damage. So if it's like 2d6, you roll 3d6, that kind of thing.
That's 8.
All right. Let's see what this guy's toughness is. All right.
Do I do damage?
Yeah.
Oh my
You
god.
absolutely do damage. You do damage with a raise, which means a wound. And we do not play where we soak physical wounds in this. So, and he is an extra. He's not a wild card. So
Did I just kill a man?
you hear a man yell out in pain, and you hear someone fall down, and you hear like slight groaning of someone like in extreme pain.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I think I just shot someone. Oh my god. Sarah, did I kill someone? Oh my god.
He was trying to kill us.
Do we help him? Should we go help him?
I don't know.
James is gonna briefly confer with Scruff, who is probably like almost fireman's
The
carry
lookout
over
up
the
his
shoulder.
back.
He's like, should we go check it out or get to the car?
I think we gotta go check it out, right? We gotta know who was shooting at us.
All right, and hold on, and he's gonna like
It's like,
rearrange Scruff so that he can point the shotgun at him.
Just put me down, son. The danger's over. I've tolerated this enough already. I'm not an invalid. I can walk myself.
All right,
I
so
love
yeah,
Scruff.
and James will remember. Oh right, I have a knife, and we'll have that out at the ready just to look more intimidating in case the guy tries to try something.
All right. You kind of walk over in that general direction. It's not hard to find this guy, as you hear just kind of the moans of pain, and you see a man you've not seen before. He has got long gray hair. It looks like it has been washed in months. He's got a long gray beard. He looks like he's maybe somewhere in his 60s. He looks to be in pretty good shape. You see him with like a modern compound bow and a quiver of arrows at his waist. He just kind of he's looking at you, and he kind of gets this look in his eyes, and he goes, "You've been large. I can't stop you." He starts moving up, and he's going towards his belt. You see he's got a knife.
I'll just stomp on his wrist and keep him from being able to move.
Kind of yells out in pain. Because I gotta kill you.
Why? Why do you have to kill us? Who are you? Is it the Hamiltons?
He just kind of yells in like rage and pain, and he tries to get up and move his hand out from under, and he's got this big gunshot wound in his side, and you see it just start bleeding like profusely as he just kind of falls back unconscious.
my god, I've killed someone.
Sarah goes down and feels a pulse. He's alive.
Well, we can't just leave him here, right? I don't know what to do.
Is first aid even
How
a
did he
skill
even
in
know
this
we were
game?
here? Huh?
First aid is not a skill in this. Or oh, there is healing.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, I think James is at a bit of a loss here. He will, he's looking back at Clara and looking at like the guy, and he's gonna try and take the guy's, or he's gonna start by just disarming the guy, just in case. But then it's probably gonna go over to Clara and like hand on her shoulder, just trying to comfort her.
All right. So are you trying to first aid, or do you guys want to first aid this guy?
Can anyone
I
in our
mean,
party do it?
Sarah's
like,
proficient.
Yeah, I have first aid, but the question is, I mean, maybe she can be doing this, like her and Scruffy can do this. We can go take a real quick look in the, I mean, meta, James can take Clara to the barn so
Yeah.
that, like, to clear her mind from what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can do that if someone wants to roll healing for Sarah.
And so is this one where I would click her healing skill because she is
Yeah, go ahead.
proficient?
We've kind of played her as a wild card as
Ah.
well.
Well, that's only a 3 for her. So just gonna keep
Not-
Clara not looking at the guy.
She's got a D4, right? She can roll an extra D4 as Scruffy's going to help.
Okay.
Rolled a 3 as well. All right. So he's not gone and out yet, but it's not good for him. We'll see. We'll get another roll when you guys are coming back from the car or from the barn.
Yeah.
All right. So go to the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar thing. It's completely overgrown. You're seeing some plants kind of growing in the barn since it was just like built on the dirt,
Mhm.
you know. And as you kind of go around in there, you find what must have been where they were doing it up in sort of the kind of upper room of the barn.
The loft?
I forget what they call it. Yeah, the loft of the barn. You see the runes carved into the floor there, and you see little scorch marks from electricity and whatnot. But it looks like the place has been cleared out.
Well, you were right about them moving the machinery. Suppose it is probably one of a kind. Would be. I don't know why I thought there might be another machine here that they would have just left, but
Yeah. Maybe there's another secret hidden something here.
poke around a bit.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, give me some investigations.
This isn't my character sheet. Scruff. Okay. So because I have investigator, I get to roll +2 to investigation and streetwise rolls as well as notice rolls made to search through evidence. This would not be that, right? Because we're just looking for evidence.
No, yeah, you're looking for it. So yeah, like the
Okay.
evidence box, you got a +2 on that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
Because we've
Oh,
got
4's good enough.
I rolled a 4.
Because we've got 5 minutes left, I'm gonna use a Benny just in case I get a ridiculous check again. That's a 7, but that's not enough for a raise.
All right. Yeah, you kind of search this over. What you do find is kind of down in one of the stalls at the bottom of the barn. You see it's been cleared out, and there's a little sleeping mat down there, and it looks like someone's living in this barn.
Like, oh, like maybe the man was living in this barn.
Probably. Does that seem to be the only furniture, personal possession?
You find his backpack, and he's got like a wallet in there, and you see a name. You see a picture of him. It's a really old driver's license. Looks like it's probably been expired for 10+ years. You see some pictures of like what you seem to be him and some of his family and stuff like that.
Do you have a name for him?
So you
I
can
do
feel
not.
more guilty
You guys
about
want to
this.
name him?
Yeah, I think that's something that Clara would latch on to as like what his name was.
Yeah. He's in my notes, crazy old man. So if you want to give him a name,
I'm trying to think.
Okay.
Can we do like red shirt in a foreign language that sounds like his name?
Let's call him Paul. Paul Stanford.
Paul Stanford. All right. Yeah, old Paul Stanford.
Any other like notes or documents while we're in here?
Oh. You find in the bag like what looks to be like crumpled up pieces of paper with writing on them, and they are largely the gibberish and ravings of a madman. You're gonna have to take some time to go through this.
Okay. I think Claire is just like pretty quiet throughout this, but I think she'll say we should probably go.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Why are you rolling? Why are you rolling?
I was giving Sarah another chance to stabilize
Okay.
this guy
Does
while you
not
guys
seem
were in
like
the
it's
barn.
going well.
It was not going. Oh wait, no, she has a D6 because she is the first one. Should have been with the D6 because she's a wild card. Hey, there we go. She stabilizes him.
All right, cool. What are we gonna do with this person? Like, okay, hold on. Let's do this in character. Well, should we take him to the hospital?
That's not gonna end well for us, especially if everyone in town is in on it.
What are we gonna do?
I mean, I don't feel great about it, but I think the smart thing for us to do is just leave him here. He'll wake up or someone will come check on him, but we'll be long gone by then.
But what if he dies?
I think we may need to start looking at this as anyone involved in this who dies, it's the Miller's fault or the Hamilton's fault. Yes, you may have been the one who fired the bullet that hurt him, but he wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for them. He wouldn't have attacked us if it wasn't for them. We were defending ourselves. I mean, what state are we in now? This state probably has
Tennessee.
this state has self-defense laws. And I mean, you couldn't see him. It's not like you were aiming for him that way.
We should go. If we're gonna do it, we should go.
All right. As you kind of walk out, you see Sarah and Scruff kind of standing up. They've looks like they've kind of torn up his shirt, and they've used it to kind of bandage up his torso a little bit. And Sarah kind of, with not her left arm because she's got an arrow sticking out of her shoulder, but with her right arm, she kind of wipes some sweat. She goes, "All right, you guys find anything?"
Just papers and some stuff. His name is Paul Stanford. He was living here.
Well, I think we got him. I think we can get him to town or something. Here, we got him. I think we stopped the bleeding for now.
Okay, yeah, we can leave him at the emergency room and head out.
All right. And as you're kind of walking back, she's kind of was walking over towards you as this was going on. As you kind of start walking back, you see a kind of almost like an explosion. It's not an explosion. It's much smaller than one. As Paul, you see, is shot in the chest with what seems to be a high caliber rifle. You see the blood kind of splatter from it. And then shortly after that, you hear the shot of the gun. And you see as he's there on the ground, you see as electricity begins to arc through his body and he convulses.
We get to cover? What is... Did he just get shot from somewhere?
Yeah.
Or was that Scruffy?
Got shot. Paul got shot from somewhere.
Oh my god. Take
Not by
goddamn
Scruffy.
cover. Not by Scruffy. We take cover.
All right. Well, we'll pick it up there next time.
Yeah. Which maybe in 3 weeks-ish. We'll have to
sounds
figure it
about right.
out, but probably back with this on the 26th. Between now and then, I mean, both of these two will be out 1 week or the other next. We can't exactly do this game again before then, but we will almost certainly be, well, we'll definitely be playing Masks next week when we are short of David, and then we may be doing Masks again on the 19th when we have David back, but we'll be missing our LB. But as we said at the top of the hour, the best way to know what we are doing is to follow us on our socials, Twitch, Twitter, Discord. That's where we talk about the things we are doing, so you should come check us out there. Next time this channel should be live will be Thursday with more Elegant Magics. Sid has threatened to make everything go terribly wrong for us, so we'll see how that goes, as everything quite possibly blows up in our faces there. Anything either of you want to talk about, plug or promote before we sign off? All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, David, for running us through this game. It's gonna be very exciting when we return and realize, oh wait, we're in a gunfight maybe. But you'll have to tune in next time, everyone. So until then, good games and good night, Internet.